All right, guys, what's going on? Welcome in. So it's early Friday morning here, and the Jets, we still aren't any closer to figuring out what's going on with the quarterback position, right? Nothing new at this point in time. Maybe something breaks later on today, but at this point right now, Aaron Rodgers still doesn't know what he wants to do. He hasn't met with the Packers. Derek Carr still waiting to, make his decision as well. But in this one, I wanted to shift gears a little bit and talk about the NFL Combine and really go over some of the players that have met with the New York Jets in formal interviews so far this week. And right off the bat, it's a lot of safeties, right? There's a lot of safeties meeting with the New York Jets. Guys that vary in skill set, guys that maybe are projected to go in the early portion, right? Round 1, round 2 of the NFL draft, and then maybe some later guys, some day 3 options. But let's start with Brian Branch. Overall, he's kind of the consensus number 1 safety in the in this year's class, and I gotta say, he's damn good. For me, I think his biggest strength is just versatility, right? 6'3", 195. He has the potential to really line up anywhere you want in the back end of the defense, right? Free safety, strong safety. If you need him to play nickel corner, he can step in and do that and not be this drop off. Like, he could actually step in and do a great job. Yes, he is, again, 6'3", but the guy he kind of reminds me of is Tyrann Mathieu. Not so much now, but more so like back at LSU. The guy's a really good prospect. Excellent coverage in zone. He's fantastic against the run. He has a really high defensive IQ, which I like, and that stands out, right? When you watch Branch, he's never making like boneheaded plays. He's not out there making mistakes left and right and is, letting the defense down. No, he is solid through and through. Again, physically he checks out, again, being 6'3", 195, but we're looking at vert, we're looking at speed. Branch pretty much has it all. And it sounds like he's, by that description, like a top 15 pick. And that's kind of the range that he's projected to go, right? If it's not top 15, it's probably top 20. In fact, I actually think if he gets past the Jets at 13, the Patriots could be a player at 14 for Branch. I think he would provide a lot of skills and intelligence that Belichick and, what they want to do defensively. I think that fit really makes a lot of sense. But overall, he's a safe player. All-American too, by the way. Like, Branch to me is a slam dunk pick. He could play with multiple teams in multiple schemes. Good teammate. No real red flags. I know this might be a slight overreaction here, but I just got to be honest. This is how I feel. I believe right now Branch would be an upgrade over Whitehead. Just looking at the play style, looking at how he projects into the NFL, I think if the Jets want to go for Branch here at 13, he could step in for Whitehead, and the Jets can maybe save some cap there, or save some money against the cap, and just move forward and not really miss a beat. Okay, so next up is J.L. Skinner, safety from Boise State, and what's unfortunate here is that before the Combine, Skinner actually tore his pec. And people were kind of thinking day 2 pick for Skinner. Now, with this injury, I'm not so sure how that's going to affect his draft stock. But when we just look at the tape, Skinner's a guy who absolutely massive, 6'4", 215, 220, a great tackler, great against the running game. He's a playmaker. He can make plays in the backfield. He can make plays down the field, right, in pass breakups and whatnot. He does a really good job of swarming to the ball carrier, so he does play with a sense of urgency, which I like. At the end of the day, though, again, with this torn pec, I just don't know. It's hard to kind of project him, oh, he's for sure going to be a round 2 guy, for sure going to be a round 3 guy. I mean, if he can't work out and the only things he can really do are just interview and meet with teams, again, I just don't know how much that's going to affect his stock. And, we do look at the safety position. There's a lot of teams out there that I get it. I know the safety position is not one of these premier positions, left tackle, QB, edge rusher, all that kind of stuff. But for me, I don't like seeing it get swept under the rug, if you will, right? If you don't have good safeties, if you don't have production from those positions, and you're constantly getting burned, right? You're getting beat over the top. Your safeties can't drop down into the box and make open field tackles, or they're getting confused and they're just standing there in quicksand. I mean, that puts a lot of stress on the perimeter, on outside corners. It puts a lot of stress on linebackers and coverage. I mean, you have to have smart, instinctual safeties at the NFL level, guys that know what's going on. And unfortunately, as good as Jesse Bates is, he's going to be somewhat expensive. So there's going to be a lot of teams out there that, you know, have a need at safety but can't afford Jesse Bates. So I think there's going to be a run at this position in the draft, and Skinner could be a fit for one of those teams. Okay, so next up is Antonio Johnson, safety from Texas A&M, a fan favorite here because he was actually one of the first guys that were mocked to the New York Jets when the 2-round mock draft started coming out this cycle. And rightfully so. I mean, 6'3", 195. He's long. He's lanky. He actually played some cornerback as a freshman for the Aggies, which I like. But I mean, overall play recognition is great. Knows where he needs to be. He can make plays down the field with pass breakups, especially on the boundary. His sideline to sideline speed is there, but he could also drop down into the box, get physical, come up and make a tackle. You know, to me, when I watch Johnson at A&M, he does kind of fit the bill, at least for me. He reminds me of like a Pete Carroll defensive back because we've seen Carroll take, like his formula is out there. He likes athletic guys. He likes competitors. He likes guys that are quick to react, right? Quick triggers. Can you make it decisive players? And that's what Johnson is. Versatile players. I mean, you look at a lot of the safeties and corners that the Seahawks bring in, they check a lot of the same boxes when you look at just attitude, how they approach the game, instincts on the field, and then of course physical measurements. They like big defensive backs, and you know, with Saleh coming over from essentially the Pete Carroll tree, there's some carryover there. There is some carryover. So Antonio Johnson, I really like. Second round. My only issue with Johnson isn't with him, isn't with, you know, his game or anything like that. I just don't know if he's going to be there in round 2 because there's a team in the AFC East that is probably going to be losing one of their safeties, a really good safety in Jordan Poyer, to free agency. Could the Buffalo Bills swoop in and select Johnson bottom of the first round? Maybe. I do like the fit there. Okay, so next up is Jair Brown, safety from Penn State. And one of the things I really like about Brown, consistent production. Right, in his 2 main years as a starter at safety, the production was pretty much spot on from year to year. In total, 122 tackles with 10 INTs, couple pass breakups too. I mean, Jair Brown is all over the field, but my favorite trait about Brown, he's fearless. He plays aggressively. Right, you could set him on a blitz. He just sticks his nose in there, he doesn't shy away from contact whatsoever. He's experienced because he also played 2 years at a community college before going to Penn State, where he spent 3 years with the Lions, but again, really was a main starter for the team for in 2021 and 2022. So, and by the way, he's from Jersey, so cool little connection there with the New York Jets. But I think at the end of the day, 5'11", big time hitter, bigger for his plays bigger than what his size suggests. I really like Brown. I like him a lot, and I was actually really pleased to see that the Jets met with him at the Combine in a formal setting. So people are saying day 3, and again, everything is still kind of up in the air because of pro days and whatnot, but you know, day 3, it's looking like it's probably going to be day 3 for Brown. So it should be interesting to see how it plays out. And then last but not least, linebacker from Texas, DeMarvion Overshown. 6'3", 230. Overshown is kind of like a Sherwood, kind of like a Hamza Najaldeen with the New York Jets, where he played safety and then ended up transitioning to linebacker after getting a little bit bigger. And this is a guy who's extremely experienced, brings a lot of energy for the Longhorns on Saturday. I mean, he has 33 career starts, but appeared in 50 games. Coming off a season with 96 tackles, this was somebody who was named first team all Big 12 by the conference coaches and the AP. I mean, Overshown to me is a little underrated throughout this process. By the way, he ran a 4.56 at the Combine, so blazing fast speed. You kind of factor, or you kind of assume it's going to be a little bit quicker than some of the linebackers out there because of that, you know, him formerly being a safety. But at the end of the day, I think it's really cool that the Jets have some young players at linebacker, but we're going to continue to invest. We're Joe Douglas is, I don't want to say scouring the earth here. Of course, they're just doing their due diligence, but I'm happy that the search for linebackers is not over. So anyway, let me know your thoughts down below in the comment section. Thanks so much for watching, and as always, go Jets.